What's up? How you doing? What you up to? Having a good day? It's hot as hell, yes it is. Or at least it's hot in the barn. Building up here. Either way. Somebody's under judgment, maybe you're under judgment, or maybe someone's judging you unfairly, untruly, undesirably, outside of their realm of work, of scope, of being, because they're standing with you as well. So why are they judging you in the first place? They are outside of themselves for judging you. And you being so humble and wise that, you know, you just, alright, whatever, and go on about playing your music, maybe. Maybe someone thinks they were wise to judge you, but they were outside of themselves, as, again, they're here outside of the mountain here. They're outside of the thing, or outside of the castle, or the outside of the scope. You know what I mean? Like, they're outside of the scope, and this wasn't wise. You know what I mean? Maybe they thought it was wise. But, you know, who is wise to judge you when you're both standing in the same place? You know what I mean? Like, so was it wise to just be like, okay, great, you judge me, alright, I'm gonna go back and play my music, bye, bitch? You know what I mean? Probably so. It didn't get me no money or no rewards, but, you know, I kept it real, I guess. It was wise to keep it real. How about that? For once in my life, it was wise to keep it real. Because what? I was not outside of my scope. I was within myself. And I was what? Tasked with this job or with this honor. And I went about it the wise way. You know, there's no need to rush. Judgment was very wise of me. And not the way that they thought. They rushed to judgment and tripped them up, and it was not the way they should have went about it. And they see now that, yeah, you know, I ain't got no money, I ain't got all this great shit, but, you know, it's wise not to judge. You know, it's wise not to rush to judgment, because you don't see everything. You know, what you do see, you don't even know if that's fucking true. What you do hear, you don't know if that's true. So, you know, how can you rush to judgment off of any of that, you know? And why I'm the King of Pentacles. Why I'm just sitting here with my crown, just sitting on my crown with Scarecrow in the background, or Obelisk back there. You know? Just sitting humbly, you know what I mean? Because maybe you were already given this birthright, or you were given this right, you know? And it was wise to not rush to judgment, or maybe it was wise not to rush to something, because you were able to see that it was not what you were able to see. You get what I'm saying? Like, you were able to see that there was something wrong, that it wasn't completely right, or maybe it wasn't right with you. So instead of rushing to judgment or rushing to this, that you were you were right in, sitting back and taking a assessment of the situation and seeing and taking a maybe a recount of something, or taking another look at a case, or at a family, or at money. That obviously you're seeing this money and it's like, oh wow, this is great, but is that bush as big as it's going to get, or is it going to keep growing? You know what I mean? Like, what is wise? Rush in there and take it, or sit back and let it grow. And they see that it was wise to let it sit back and grow. But their way wasn't right, because they rushed in. They were like the Russian Dozier report. They rushed in and dove in on you, or take the words out of it how it says, Russian Dozier report. So they report something in a rush. You were dosing. Were you at a methadone clinic? Were you dozing? Were you sleeping? Or how did they rush in when you were maybe by yourself in the middle of nowhere? Who's these people to rush in? Why are people able to rush in when you doze off? When you go to sleep, people rush in and do shit to you, fuck with your shit, all kinds of stuff. And it wasn't wise of them. That way was not wise, and people were getting wrong messages. And the people that were wise were sitting back with nothing. You could see that they were sitting back with nothing, because these people were rushing in and taking this stuff and going before you were even able to get it. Maybe it was something for you, and people rushed in as you, or rushed in before you, and say all this stuff so they would get the stuff, and then you would never even get it, or they might not even ever contact you because there was nothing to give. And people were seeing that, maybe family, friends, other people that don't know you, people that never even been around you, people that you have no business, you've had no business with at all, or any kind of physical contact or anything, were putting you under judgment, and were saying that it was very wise of them to do this, and that they were really wise, and maybe they were rushing to judge you as maybe some kind of musical or entertainment thing or whatever. And maybe they seeing now that they're in that same position. Maybe they were rushing to take something, music or entertainment of yours, so that they could build their thing. But you don't have no money, so it's coming back on them is what it is. I mean, they have no choice. I mean, it's a 360 in the first place. You know what I mean? Only 5 is a 50. Is the 0, the 1, 0, 5, or 105, 103.5, 104.5, 106.5, 107.7. It's like 2 missing out of there. 2, 105.5. 6:40 a.m. 2 5s. I always wake up at 6:40 a.m. I used to, or at 4, 6. Either way, just cataloging bullshit. But yeah, I see someone rushed to judge you, or maybe they honored you. Maybe someone honored you, and that was wise of them. Because they honored you as a child. Maybe you were young at the time, or it didn't cost them no money to honor you or to treat you well, and that that was usually wise, because the ones that didn't, you know what I mean, they would see that, you know, different things would happen to them. Maybe they see that 1 year in your life is 7 years in theirs. That's where the dog years come from. The dog years of summer. Every day feels like 7 days. Like, damn, how is that? Because I live on the 7th day. Invented this on the 7th day. The first day took 6 more days to revise. So 6 more, 6 and 6 is 12. So 1 day, that's why there's only 13 and not 14, because it only 1 day, you know, to rest. But there was 6 and 6 on each side, so it's not, I guess you could say 1 equals MC squared, or V equals MC squared. I'm not sure. Whatever. How it doubles from 1 to 13. 1 to 4. That's a wonderful saying. I like them. Wonderful words. It's a wonderful number. 1 to 4 number. It's wonderful. It's 1 to 4 chances you're gonna win. Hey, that's wonderful. I wonder how you come up with that. Ba-da-da-da. The star, the moon, the sun, the moon, and star. Witchcraft of all. Woo. Which kid made the candles? John made the candles. Why do you ask? Because they want more candles. And I wasn't there to make none, so, you know. Because they wouldn't come ask. So we had 0 beginning right off the bat. Peace.